Hi there, my name's Matthew, and I'm lucky enough just to have come back from a fantastic trip with Medsailors to Croatia. And I wanted to leave a review, and I'm a video producer, so I thought the best way to do it would be by doing a video. So basically the whole trip was fantastic from start to end. I'm quite lucky that I get to travel, which is actually why I'm in Cologne at the moment working. I go on a lot of holidays, and this was by far the best holiday I've ever been on, for just a combination of lots of reasons. Firstly, the organisation, the company themselves are really, really good, just from the setup, booking the holiday, had a few questions which they answered really, really quickly and were really, really helpful with. And then actually the holiday itself, just as soon as we got to the marina, they were there to help us out, introduce us to our skipper, and really throughout the whole trip got involved enough to make sure that everything was going smoothly and to get things organised, but also to kind of in the background making sure everything was smooth and that there weren't any problems. Every day they'd be getting fresh fruit salad and drinks and things like that, so that the skippers could do the breakfast and lunches every day. It was just slick from start to finish. The boats themselves were really good. Sleeping was reasonably cramped, as you would expect on a yacht, but not uncomfortable by any stretch. And the facilities were really nice. You spend most of your time up on deck in the sun, or maybe in the water and swimming around. The boats have got like a paddle board on it, and you also get a dinghy so you can mess around on those. So that's really, really nice when you pull up anchor. And some of the most beautiful locations I've ever been to. Stunning. The water was crystal clear, blue, green, and everywhere you looked, the views were just stunning. It was just like a holiday for your eyes as much as anything else. Every day was just something really beautiful to look at. And even when you're in the marinas, the architecture, some of the old buildings, it was just stunning. That was a definite highlight for me. The skippers, massive shout out to David, who was our skipper on our boat, and just could not do enough for us. One, obviously making sure that we were safe and got to location dry, but just the nicest guy that couldn't have done enough for us, making sure that we were all catered for. I don't eat fish, so every lunchtime he made sure that there was a meat option for me, making teas and coffees at breakfast, getting everything ready. So on the boats you get breakfast and lunch prepared, and the lunches were just delicious. We had gnocchi one day, we had beautiful cold meats, lovely sausage on one of the last days. It's every day of something different, but really, really good lunches. It wasn't just a case of getting a ham roll and a carton drink. You get a real mixed batch of people on the trip, so all sorts of ages, sexes, from all over the world. And that was one of the really, really good things about the whole trip. We had some girls from England, we had a couple from Australia, we had another single guy from Australia, and just the mix of people was just fantastic. And I don't know how they did it. There's obviously some kind of magic, but the mixture and the chemistry on our boat was absolutely brilliant. We were a little bit concerned when we went about if we had a bit of an idiot on the boat that could just spoil the trip, but actually I don't think any of the boats had any idiots, and all of the boats seemed to have a good bond and a chemistry on the boats, but not quite as good as on the Española, which is my boat. And we just had the best group, and definitely a group of friends that I think will probably stay friends for a long time, if not for life. In terms of the trip itself, every day we went to a different location. So there were some of the places we dropped anchor, and then we'd take a little boat into shore to go on an excursion out for the evening. And then on other days we'd be tied up in a marina. And for me, these were the best days because it was really, really nice to be able to go freely on and off the boat and just go explore this local town, maybe go and get some provisions, go and get some new drinks, go to the ATM. And so that was one of the really, really nice things. But each location was so unique and so good to visit. Medsailors have done a fantastic job of handpicking some really, really good places to go to and to make of whatever you want out of the holidays. So some people just wanted some nice quiet evenings and a nice meal. Some people would be out until 2-3 o'clock at the local bars, clubs or whatever. and somewhere in between. So, I'm 37, so I wanted a good mix of kind of good nightlife and partying, but also to kind of not have that thrust upon me, and actually to be able to have a nice mix. So it was the perfect combination, and that was something that I really looked for when I was booking and searching for a good sailing company, was to get that right mix of being able to party, having some time to yourself to relax and to lay around in the sun, and to kind of dip in and out, and it was exactly that and more. One of the other big bonuses was that you bring your own drink onto the boat, so it saved a lot of money. I can imagine that some of the companies that I did look into where they sell the drinks aboard, it would probably end up costing you a lot more money, and you probably wouldn't be so casual with drinking. And we were able to just dip ourselves into the fridge and get the beers and gin and tonics and things as freely as we wanted to. And actually, one of the really nice things on the boat was everybody just kind of mixed in, so we all had each other's drinks, and someone would go and do a beer run and go and buy some bottles of beer. Recommend the big, I don't know what size, I think they're like 2 or 3 litre bottles of beer, which are really, really good. The local beer is great, and it saves you a lot of money. And yeah, they were great just to keep in the fridge on the boat and just dip in and out as we needed. One thing to bear in mind in terms of the trip is that the local currency is the tuna, so don't bring your euros. There's lots of ATMs all the way through the trip. There's one at the marina when you start, and then there's a few other marinas along the way, so you can easily drip feed into your funds if you need to. There are a few trips that are extra over and above the price for the trip, which none of them are a lot of money, and they're all pretty good value for money, especially the trip to the vineyard where you have the most beautiful dinner. It was just stunning, so really, really highly recommend you go on that. You don't have to do them all, and you are always welcome to just stay on the boat, and I know some couples did, and that's all fine, but just a little heads up. The sailing itself was absolutely fantastic. Again, you can dip in and out as you wish. All the people on our boat were all really up for learning all the skills and being able to man the boat ourselves, and we actually did really well, although we say so ourselves. On the Thursday, there's a big race between all of the boats, which was just awesome fun. It gets a bit of rivalry between all the boats and the skippers themselves, and you get the opportunity to use all your skills that you've used. The skippers can't help you, so you're kind of racing all of the other people that are on the trip with you, and it's great fun. But then, some of the boats weren't that bothered, and they just ended up coming in last and maybe needing a bit of motoring to get themselves over the finishing line. But it's all good fun. It's all part of the trip. If you're coming on a sailing trip, learn to sail. So overall, the trip was fantastic, and I can't recommend it highly enough for all sorts of people, all over the world. Whatever you want out of a holiday, if you're okay to be on a sailing boat and you like the sun and you like to look at beautiful things, to eat fantastic food, drink beautiful wine, this is a really good trip, and I highly recommend it. And several people from the boat have already been talking about doing the Greece trip next year, so Medsailors, we might see you soon. If you do have any questions or want to ask about anything that I've talked about, then please do feel free to drop a comment below. Be happy to respond and to offer any guidance that I can, as well as Medsailors themselves. They were really, really helpful, as I said, for the trip, and I'm sure they'll be only too happy to field any questions you might have. But book it, go on, go!